Good afternoon, officers. Let's do today's beautiful current affairs of 28th May 2025. Uh, some nice topics are there, so let's concentrate a little bit, collect all the important points, do a little bit of prelims as well as mains analysis, and then revise as usual. So, moving on. Topics for today, very important topic, so have an important glance of this. Silver Jubilee Strategic Partnership, India's new urban worry, rising overnutrition, energy and efficiency. SE Collegium recommends transfer of 21 judges, very important for polity. Low pressure likely to trigger fresh round of intense rain in Kerala. Center restores road TEP scheme, very important. It was stopped and suddenly they started again. World Hydrogen Summit 2025. This is not in today's newspaper, but the recent newspaper there was an article on it, so I thought it will be better for all of you. So keeping that in mind, let's फटाफट करेंगे important points. So as I told you already, May 26 is the foundation batch. Today is 28th, so you can always join. Use the code SP Live, Shamang Paidikondla Live. Use this number 8121191985 and get 15 to 20% Katarna concession. Use the concession. Manchi stocks is konukondi. Financial feature set cheskoni. It is very nice. My small suggestion from my side. So moving on to today's topics. Silver Jubilee of Strategic Partnership. Very important topic. India, Germany. So let's look at it. Silver Jubilee. So India and Germany. 25 years. In 2024, the collaboration is founded on 4 core pillars: peace, prosperity, people, and planet. This conclusion ki maatrame one kostadi, business ki one kira. Okay. Both nations emphasize shared vision of peaceful, rules-based international order. Okay, fine. This only conclusion one kostadi. Manak basic one kochedi defense cooperation. Defense cooperation is the major point. They have strengthened significantly, notably the Tarang Shakti 2024 exercise at Sulur, Tamil Nadu, and German naval visits in Indo-Pacific regions underscore the growing military engagement that we have with respect to Germany. So keep that in. Next, economic collaboration. 2,000 German companies operate in India, providing 750,000 jobs. So the Delhi-Meerut Rapid Rail Project development with huge arms involvement highlights the infrastructure and tech cooperation. So look at this, 2,000 German companies are operating in India. 750,000 jobs they are giving. It's a good engagement, and also military level also we are increasing a lot. So all these points are very, very important for India-Germany relations. Next, moving on, people to people ties. 50,000 Indian students are going to Germany because in Germany the advantages, if you are getting a scholarship, it's almost like free, and the cost is also very, very less in comparison to US and other European countries. So the largest international student groups of India, especially education as well as cultural types, have become a cornerstone of partnership. Sustainability and green development. Germany pledged $10 billion pounds to Indo-German Green and Sustainable Development Partnership for renewable smart cities as well as biodiversity preservation. So in terms of money also, good engagements are there, militarily, financially, and socially it's good. So keeping that in mind, let's move on. What are the major areas where we are concentrating on India this one? Let's look at it. In terms of defense and security, joint military drills, example Tarang Shakti, naval engagements in Indo-Pacific. Economic and industrial companies in India creating 715 jobs. Education to people, 50,000 Indian students. Green development, $10 billion German supply. And technological collaboration, wind energy especially Gujarat, high-tech supply chains. So these are the major points. All of these points you can mention in your mains. Sometimes you can get questions on prelims also, especially in defense and security. So these are the major points that you have to catch from India, Germany, 25 years of partnership. So again I'm repeating, I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I'm just trying to give you all the major points that is required. So why I'm giving you this is, when you're reading, you also have to collect only such kind of points. Eliminate, filter out all the nonsense. That's the whole game. You have to just filter out the nonsense and keep that in mind. Okay, so moving on. Let's move on. The next topic for today is India's new urban worry. That's the problem. ఓవర్ న్యూట్రిషన్ అనేది పెద్ద ఇష్యూ అయిపోతుంది. రైజింగ్ ఓవర్ న్యూట్రిషన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. సో లెట్స్ లుక్ ఎట్ దిస్. సో over nutrition search, that's very important. So keeping that over nutrition search in metros, especially IT corridors, basically because of work pressure and all that stuff. You know, we have talked about non-communicable diseases also. That's also another thing, diabetes, hypertension and all that. So very bad situations. So Hyderabad, Bangalore are facing silent epidemic called MDA, metabolic dysfunction associated fatty liver diseases, MAFLD. Very important for your prelims. And obesity driven by sedentary jobs, that means కూర్చొని చేసే jobs, stress, poor diet, ఏది పడితే అది తింటారు మనం. దీనివల్ల NCDs, నాన్ కమ్యూనికబుల్ డిసీజ్ భయంకరంగా పెడుతుంది, causing 65% of deaths, especially in Chennai, and only 9.8% diabetic. Urban India is now a hotspot of early onset of lifestyle diseases. Recently we see that a lot of heart attacks and all these things, cardiac arrests, and a lot of things which are actually not necessary are happening. So that's a very very sorry state of affairs. So inequality in nutrition, data from National Family Health Survey NFHS 5 shows obesity is rising with age. It's not just about health issue but also socio-economic one. Keeping that in mind, let's prove this. So that's the whole game. Next, behavioral interventions in action. Tamil Nadu's Makkalai Tedi Marutuva MTM and FSSI's Eat Right India, very important programs you can mention in your mains, and you can also get a prelims question out of this. Preventive health care through workplace screenings and food behavior nudges. Global గా మనం నేర్చుకోవాల్సిన సంగతులు ఏంటంటే, India lags on Sustainable Development Goals SDGs for non-communicable diseases. Countries like Saudi Arabia, look at this example, are using taxes and food labeling under Vision 2030 to push healthy habits. If Saudi Arabia is doing it, I think we should do it more. In Germany, to the extent that I don't know whether you know, in Germany, if you waste food, you are taxed. You are supposed to find penalties. So you cannot waste food, even small rice also, because that is the kind of government policy that they make. Anyone waste food, even in a restaurant, you are supposed to pay a fine for wasting of that food. So they don't waste food. Either they carry that home or they use it. They don't throw away food. మన వాళ్ళు అయితే ఇక్కడ హాఫ్ బిర్యానీ కాగానే పక్కన పడేస్తారు. అట్లాంటివి జరగకూడదు. సో అట్లాంటివి జరగాలంటే గుడ్ ఫుడ్, న్యూట్రిషియస్ ఫుడ్ని మనం చాలా జాగ్రత్తగా కాపాడుకోవాలి. సో లెట్స్ లుక్ ఎట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద అనాలిసిస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్. ఐటీ సెక్టర్ హెల్త్, హైదరాబాద్ 84% విత్ MAFLD. అగైన్ ఐఎమ్ రిపీటింగ్, MAFLD గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. మెటబాలిక్ డిస్ఫంక్షన్ అసోసియేటెడ్ ఫ్యాటీ లివర్ డిసీజ్. సో ఫ్యాటీ లివర్ డిసీజ్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. Metabolic association dysfunction will come automatically. So metabolic dysfunction associated fatty liver disease, urban metabolic health emergency impact bhayankarama. Next, poor diabetes control, only 9.8% diabetes aged 18 to 44 are able to manage correct sugar levels. It's a non-communicable disease, so high risk of early age complications. Hospital ki double ekku vastayi, intiki double potayi, adi basic problem. Next, rich poor obesity divide bhayankaranga undi. 37% obese you will see in richer sectors, only 10% in bottom sectors. That is the whole important statistics according to National Family Health Survey round 5. Health inequality అనేది lifestyle వల్ల changes వస్తున్నాయి. So very important point for your mains. Next, India's future obesity forecast according to Lancet prediction అంటే 450 million obese adults will be there by 2050. ఫ్రమ్ 180 to 450 వెళ్తుందంట. అంటే దారుణంగా తయారవుతుంది. అంటే హాస్పిటల్స్ వాళ్ళు పిచ్చి పిచ్చిగా సంపాదిస్తారు. మన పైసలన్నీ వాళ్ళకే దారవోసుడు. ఇట్ జస్ట్ ఆల్ ఆర్ మనీ దట్ వీ ఎర్న్. సో విత్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ హార్డ్ వర్క్, everything finally goes off beautifully to the great people. So keeping that in mind, explosive public health challenge ahead. So very important. So these are all the statistics from that particular article. So మీరు ఒకసారి అనాలిసిస్ చేసుకుని యూ జస్ట్ రైట్ డౌన్ సమ్ నైస్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ as well as మెయిన్స్ పాయింట్స్. అండ్ ఫైనలీ స్టోరీ లైన్ is very important. So when you write the topics, you have to mention all these as good examples. That's how they know that you are very informative and you are reading the newspaper correctly. So moving on. Next important topic, energy and efficiency. Very important topic, khatarnak topic this is. So let's have a quick glance. I have put everything in terms of a table instead of paragraph so that it will be easy for you to analyze 2-3 points simultaneously. So keeping that in mind, widening power deficit manakundi. Power deficit rose from 0.69 to 5%. So it's a big change. Then urgency for demand side management and energy reforms. So very important point for your mains. Next, Ujala scheme success, Unnat Jyoti by affordable LEDs for through AI. So the LED prices dropped from 500 to 70 rupees. 37 crores were distributed, 407 crores were sold. So it's a very beautiful thing. దీనివల్ల ఏమైందంటే ఎనర్జీ ఈక్విటీ భయంకరంగా పెరిగింది, రెడ్యూస్డ్ పవర్ యూసేజ్ తగ్గింది అండ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్, వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్. You can cite this as a very very important successful program of the government, especially in terms of power crisis and energy. Next, street light program, super program. This is over 1.34 crore LED street lights were installed. 1500 megawatt peak load reduction happened. So it is a very beautiful thing. So దానివల్ల savings భయంకరంగా జరిగినాయి, especially for municipal electricity bills and green urban push భయంకరంగా increasing. This is another major point you can mention in your means as a supportive form of how government is supporting people through this. Next, energy savings and CO2 reduction. Saved $10 billion, awarded 9,500 megawatts coal capacity lekunda we did it, and reduced 300 metric tons of carbon dioxide. So this is a super point. You can mention these statistics. So this India's climate commitments and sustainable development ki, it's a big boost. So this is another major point you can mention in your mains. Next, India's coal dependency baga taggichamu. Still 70% energy is from coal, so that should be reduced. 90 gigawatt is coal based, that should also be reduced. By 32 we are going to bring that. So reflects conflict between development key and decarbonization programs much, always, because major industries even today run on coal based only. So we want to completely reduce that and we want to do something like that. So next, SC Collegium recommends transfer of 21 High Court judges. This is the most important topic for today. Chala polity concepts unnai dintlo. So jagrataga meeru okasari analysis chesukovali. So just have a glance at this. So let's look at this article very clearly. Collegium system, group of judges sitting together, they consult and concur. That's an important concept that we have to keep. So under కూర్చొని decision తీసుకుంటే, that is collegium system, very simple. So not in constitution, evolved through SC verdicts. The judges case అనేది very very important for your prelims. There are 3 cases fundamentally, majorly 2. So judges case very important, 1993. So what is the collegium ఏంటంటే, a judicial body of senior judges recommends high court and supreme court judge appointments and transfers. దానివల్ల executive dominance will reduce. Judiciary will be like family, they don't want others to interfere. So 5 judges in SC collegium, CGI plus 4 senior judges. So this is the whole system of that. 5 mandi mottam CGI plus 4 senior judges. While appointments are based on recommendations and experience of the senior judges. So this comes under Article 222. The President can transfer High Court judges after consultation with CGI. That is the issue. So దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే, constitution process will be good. President generally acts on collegium's advice. దానివల్ల once President takes a decision, the can't override CGI's consultative role. So once the collegium decides and tells the President, dude, this is who you have to appoint and all that, this is who you have to transfer, the President also cannot override because it's constitutionally proved. దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే, President signs the transfer only after CGI consultation. So that is a whole point. Next, independence of judiciary ఎప్పుడు ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేయాలి, that is a full point. So the basic structure doctrine ప్రకారంగా under Article 124 to 147 మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సిన points. Protects judiciary from political bias, secretive and executive influence transfers can weaken the public trust and impartiality. So judiciary will take its own decision without the involvement of the executive. So that is how you protect the independence of judiciary. So వాళ్ళ problems వాళ్ళే చూసుకుంటారు, executive అంటే Prime Minister and Council of Ministers and all this, that whole lot will not interfere into these affairs. That is a whole game that you have to always understand. Next, separation of powers. Article 50 DPSP, directive for keeping judiciary separate from executive interference. Executive must not influence judges' post, judicial transfers done independently, preserve institutional balance, ensured by limiting executive interference. That is a whole point that you have to always understand. So these are the major points that you have to always remember to get good deal done. Summary, large scale transfer of 21 High Court judges జరిగినాయి. So దాని గురించి article కాబట్టి I gave you all the remaining details. So దీనివల్ల reaffirms the collegium's central role in preserving judicial independence, but also revives debates on transparency and executive non-interference. Article 222 and collegium system work together to operationalize transfers with President's role being formal, while real authority lies with the constitutional and the judicial. So that is the whole point. This is the overall summary of the whole thing. 21 judges, independence of judiciary, president role, non-executive role. That is the whole game. So consultation and concurrence. Very, very important. చాలా important ఇది. దీని మీద అసలు మీకు so consultation versus concurrence. What is this consultation concurrence? Consultation is you sit, you discuss, you ask advices, simple. Concurrence means acceptance. Concurrence means acceptance here. So that is the whole point. So consultation is the president or the executive must discuss and consider the opinion of the Chief Justice of India, but not bound to follow it. This is called consulting. You just ask their opinion. Asking is mandatory, but following not mandatory. That is called consultation. Next part is concurrence, means acceptance. The executive is bound by the opinion of the CJI or the collegium. It means mandatory agreement, not just a discussion. Not just a discussion. So that is the whole point. So that is a game. So this is a very, very important concept that you will require in polity. So please keep this in mind. You might get a mains question from this, and or you might get a prelims question also directly from this. So consultation versus concurrence. So what are the popular cases regarding this? Post first judge's case, SP Gupta versus Union of India 1981. Consultation does not mean concurrence. Very good. So the executive had the final say in judicial appointments. So they previously in 1981 they did consultation and they appointed the judges. So they didn't follow what CJI said. That is first judge's case. So దీని వల్ల ఏమైంది, more power to the government but not the judiciary. This was the whole point. Second judge's case లో ఏమైందంటే Supreme Court advocates on record association versus Union of India, which is government versus judiciary. వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే second judge's case overruled the first judge's case, held that consultation means concurrence అని వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు. That means CJI's opinion is binding by nature అని second judge's case లో తీసుకొచ్చారు. దీనివల్ల ఏమైందంటే కొలేజియం సిస్టమ్ అనేది తీసుకొచ్చారు, గివింగ్ ప్రైమసీ టు జ్యుడిషియరీ ఇన్ అపాయింట్మెంట్స్. సి ద హోల్ లాజిక్ ఇస్ వెరీ సింపుల్. జడ్జులు చూసుకుంటారు, మధ్యలో ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్కి ఏం పని? సో జడ్జెస్ వాంటెడ్ టు కీప్ దట్ వెరీ క్లియర్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద హోల్ పాయింట్. సో మూవింగ్ ఆన్, లో ప్రెషర్ లైక్లీ టు ట్రిగర్ ఫ్రెష్. సో జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ అ క్విక్ లుక్ ఎట్ దిస్ పాయింట్స్, వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. Hope all of you have had a glance. So let's move on. Low pressure likely to trigger fresh round of intense rain in Kerala. So the point agra. So dams in Karnataka seek rise in water inflow. So first, a low pressure system over the Bay of Bengal is intensifying. దాని వల్ల strong westerlies create అవుతున్నాయి. దాని వల్ల heavy rainfall కుదురుతుంది. దాని వల్ల districts of Kerala అన్ని కూడా red alerts లో ఉన్నాయి. So that is the whole point. Next, India IMD has issued multiple warnings and alerts across the state due to continuous monsoonal rainfall and potential floods and severe disruptions. So that is the whole point. Next, అసలు దీంట్లోనూ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఏంటి? ఫస్ట్, low pressure system means formed over northwestern Bay of Bengal. దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే moist winds ni లోపల లాగుతుంది. It pulls moist winds. Moist winds are winds with water vapor. Intensifies rainfall. Southwest monsoon onset over Kerala. Triggers seasonal rains key to Indian agricultural systems. That is all. Tropical cyclone precursors. దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక లో ప్రెషర్ రీజన్, దానివల్ల ఓషన్ టెంపరేచర్స్ హైగా ఉంటాయి. దీనివల్ల వచ్చే ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఇట్ కెన్ ఎవాల్వ్ ఇన్ టు అ డిప్రెషన్ అండ్ ఒక సైక్లోన్ కింద తయారయ్యే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో ప్లీజ్ రిమెంబర్ ద ఇంపాక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. నెక్స్ట్, ట్రోపోస్ఫెరిక్ వెస్టర్లీస్ అంటే ఏంటి? దే ఆర్ యూజువల్లీ యాక్టివ్ ఆన్ కేరళ అండ్ లక్షద్వీప్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద రిలవెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్? మాయిశ్చర్ ఎన్హాన్స్ చేస్తుంది, కన్వర్జెన్స్ ఇన్ కోస్టల్ రీజన్స్ అవుతుంది, ఎస్పెషల్లీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ట్రోపోస్ఫెరిక్ వెస్టర్లీస్. నెక్స్ట్, IMD alert, రెడ్, ఆరెంజ్, yellow, దీస్ ఆర్ ద త్రీ థింగ్స్. రెడ్ అంటే ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్ రెయిన్, ఆరెంజ్ అంటే వెరీ హెవీ రెయిన్, yellow ఇస్ ఐసోలేటెడ్ రెయిన్ అలర్ట్స్ జరుగుతాయి. సో దిస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ యూర్ ప్రిలిమ్స్. నెక్స్ట్, దీనివల్ల అడ్వాంటేజ్ అంటే డిజాస్టర్ ప్రిపేర్నెస్కి రెడీగా ఉంటాం. నెక్స్ట్, క్లైమేట్ వల్నరబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ కేరళ. కోస్టల్ స్టేట్ విత్ కాంప్లెక్స్ జియోగ్రఫీ కాబట్టి హై ల్యాండ్ స్లైడ్స్, ఆల్రెడీ చాలా మంది ప్రాణాలు లాస్ట్ కేరళలో ల్యాండ్ స్లైడ్స్ జరిగినాయి, చాలా మంది ప్రాణాలు కోల్పోయారు. దేర్ఫోర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ ఫ్లడ్ రిస్క్ ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఇన్ వెస్టర్న్ ఘాట్స్. So these are all the major points that you have to pick from that, but these are all the concepts actually. All the concepts related to the westerlies, rainfall, and all these things I have mentioned so that it will be easy for you to revise. In the revision, yes, and the manchivi. That is the whole point. So please keep this in mind. Just have a glance at this in the meantime. What are some interesting facts with respect to this? Chala important oksari. Interesting facts. Rainfall streak. Kerala has faced 4 consecutive days of heavy rain due to early monsoon surge. Meteorological event ఏంటి? A new low pressure area, typically Bay of Bengal pattern before monsoons create అవుతుంది. Red alert zones ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి? Kozhikode and Wayanad are under extreme rainfall situation. Next, climatic trend ఎట్లా ఉంది చూడండి. Rising sea surface temperatures may intensify monsoon systems and were very unpredictable. UPSC మనకు వచ్చేది this links to previous year questions, especially on stream, storms and barometric readings మీద మనకు questions వచ్చే ఛాన్స్. These are all some interesting points with respect to this particular topic. Just with respect to only this context. Next, Center restores RODTEP scheme for exporters. Very important. Chala important topic ఇది. RODTEP. చూద్దాం ఒకసారి. RODTEP scheme restored అంటే మళ్ళీ తీసుకొచ్చారు. From June 1st, 2025, exporters under the Advance Authorization EOUs and Special Economic Zones regain RODP benefits. Very important for exporters. Policy gap వల్ల hurt air exporters. Scheme was paused from February 2024. దానివల్ల costs భయంకరంగా పెరిగినాయి exporters కి. Exporters lobbied for resumption. FIEO stand. What is that? Welcome the decision but urge retrospective application from February 7, 2025. Seamless transition wage. Exports gain a push. దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే offset Indian domestic taxes తగ్గిపోతాయి, boost cost efficiency, and దానివల్ల global competitiveness మంచిగా పెంచుకోవచ్చు. World Trade Organization ఏమంటారు? It should be compliant, but it is costly. Replaces MEIS WTO violating ఇది. So RODP is trade compliant, but budget pressure మనకి ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది. These are all the major points. So RODTPలో గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, పాలసీ గ్యాప్, FIOs వాళ్ళ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్, WTO. These are the major points. సో ఒకసారి చూద్దాం. వాట్ ఈస్ RODP? వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. చూడండి ఒకసారి క్విక్గా. RODTP అంటే రీఫండ్ ఆఫ్ అన్క్లెయిమ్డ్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ ట్యాక్సెస్. దానివల్ల ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ కాస్ట్ తగ్గుతాయి, విచ్ ఇస్ వెరీ బెనిఫిషియల్ ఫర్ ది ఎక్స్పోర్టర్స్. AAEU, SEZ అని చెప్పాను. They are all special export focus schemes, promotes manufacturing as well as exports. So very important for us. Next, FIEO. It's an exporter body. It's an policy influencer. And MEIS, it's old model. So non-WTO compliant are the export scheme replaced by RODT, which is WTO compliant. WTO rules, no export linked subsidies. RODP aligns with them. So these are all the major facts which are very, very important. So who are the exporters? ఎక్స్పోర్టర్స్ అంటే దానివల్ల ఎక్స్పోర్టర్స్కి వచ్చే బెనిఫిట్స్ ఏంటిది? కాస్ట్ రిలీఫ్ తగ్గుతుంది, బెటర్ మార్జిన్స్ సూపర్గా ఉంటాయి. SEZ ఇంకా యూఎస్కి ఏమవుతుంది? బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ పాలసీ RODP తీసుకురావడం వల్ల పాలసీ క్లారిటీ ఉంటుంది, ఇన్వెస్టర్ ట్రస్ట్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. గవర్నమెంట్ బడ్జెట్ ఏమవుతుంది? హైయర్ పేఅవుట్స్ ఇచ్చుకోవాల్సింది. గ్లోబల్ ట్రేడ్ కంప్లైన్స్, ఇంప్రూవ్డ్ అలైన్మెంట్, ఈజ్ ఆఫ్ బిజినెస్ విల్ బీ బెటర్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ద మేజర్ పాయింట్స్ అండ్ రిలేటెడ్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ టాపిక్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ డైరెక్ట్ కోర్ పాయింట్స్. యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు అగైన్ బీట్ అరౌండ్ ద బుష్ అండ్ డూ సంథింగ్ అండ్ సంథింగ్. జస్ట్ వర్క్, ఎంజాయ్. RODTP began in 2021. Mali MIS replaced it because WTO challenged by USA. Export share from SEZs is about 70%. Budget allocation is about 50,000 crores. So FIO stands for Federation of Indian Export Organizations. Very important. So all these are major points you can mention in mains as well as in prelims. So moving on. World Hydrogen Summit 2025. In the meantime, just have a small glance at this again. FIO అంటే ఏంటిది, ఎందుకు అట్లా చేశారు and all that stuff. So please have a quick glance. Okay, moving on. World Hydrogen Summit 2022 to 22nd May 2025, Rotterdam, Netherlands లో. So let's see all the important points of this particular Hydrogen Summit. World Hydrogen Summit 2025 held at Rotterdam, Ahoy, Netherlands. Participants 15,000 plus from 130 plus countries. What is the theme? Very, very important for your prelims. Prelims key themes గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. They might give you match the following question also. Global hydrogen transition for decarbonization 2030 to 2050 targets. Global hydrogen transition for decarbonization. India highlights ఏంటంటే 10,000 కోట్లు MOU సైన్ చేసినాం మనం, అందుకే ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ మేజర్ గ్రీన్ హైడ్రోజన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఇన్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్. మన బాబు గారు తీసుకొచ్చి ఖతర్నాక్ పెట్టారు ఇక్కడ. Next, what is the features of it? I have arranged everything so that it will be easy for you to contemplate and understand. So let's look at the quick ones. Global platform ki chala important, hosted by Sustainable Energy Council with Dutch government and Port of Rotterdam. Establishes India's proactive stance in global green energy diplomacy. So you can add this as one of your main points. Scale and scope ఏముంది 700 plus exhibitors చేశారు, 400 plus speakers, 15,000 delegates from 130 countries. దానివల్ల ఇండియన్ స్టార్టప్స్ కి మంచి కిక్ వస్తుంది, PSQs కి పబ్లిక్ సెక్టర్ ఈవెంట్స్ కి మంచి బాగుంటుంది, ప్రైవేట్ ప్లేయర్స్ కూడా గ్లోబల్ లో కనెక్ట్ అవడానికి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్. సో మెయిన్స్ కి వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఫోకస్ థీమ్స్? హైడ్రోజన్ ప్రొడక్షన్, ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్, సర్టిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ డీకార్బనేషన్ గోల్స్ 2030 to 2050. దీనివల్ల ఇండియాస్ నేషనల్ గ్రీన్ హైడ్రోజన్ మిషన్ కి 19,744 crore allocation చేశారు. This is super important point for your prelims as well as for your mains. Next, మేజర్ ఇండియన్ డీల్ ఏం జరిగింది? 10,000 కోట్ల MOU, జూనో జోల్ గ్రీన్ ఎనర్జీ విజయవాడ, సెలెక్ట్ ఎనర్జీ JFMG జర్మనీ, వీళ్ళిద్దరు కలిసి చేస్తున్నారు. సో వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ యువర్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ as well as for your mains. ఫెసిలిటీ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో ఉంది, ప్రొడక్షన్ ఏమో 180 KTPA గ్రీన్ హైడ్రోజన్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ రేట్. సో సూపర్ పాయింట్ ఫర్ యువర్ మెయిన్స్, సేయింగ్ దట్ our government is doing a lot of work, especially with respect to green hydrogen. Strategic location చూడండి, ప్రాజెక్ట్ నియర్ మూలాపేట్ పోర్ట్, దానివల్ల మెరీటైమ్ హైడ్రోజన్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ భయంకరంగా ఉంటుంది. బూస్ట్ ఇండియాస్ పొటెన్షియల్ యాజ్ గ్లోబల్ గ్రీన్ హైడ్రోజన్ హబ్. Very important for your mains. You can use all these things as examples in mains as well as for prelims. Future law, how should we look at it? Suppose India EU green corridor helps meet RFNBO standards, enhances India's stake in EU bound green energy trade and tech corporation కి మనకు చాలా పనికొస్తుంది. Mains కి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. So this is how you have to analyze, and you have to collect points, especially with respect to international relations and when deals are being done. So that is a whole game. So Green Hydrogen Mission Summit, what are the advantages we have seen? Next, future perspective ఏంటంటే India can emerge as a leading green hydrogen exporter, especially with EU tie-up. Domestic benefits ఏంట్రా బాబు అనుకుంటే జాబ్ క్రియేషన్ అవుతుంది, క్లీన్ ఎనర్జీ ట్రాన్సిషన్ అండ్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ పొజిషనింగ్ ఇన్ గ్లోబల్ హైడ్రోజన్ మార్కెట్ లో ఇండియా విల్ స్టార్ట్ యాజ్ అ బ్యూటిఫుల్ ప్లేయర్. అండ్ దీనివల్ల స్ట్రెంథెన్స్ ఇండియాస్ గ్రీన్ ఎనర్జీ డిప్లొమసీ భయంకరం పెడుతుంది. మేక్ ఇన్ ఇండియా, గ్రీన్ ఇండియా విజన్, ఈ రెండింటికి సూపర్ గా పనికొస్తాయి. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద పాయింట్స్ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డెఫినెట్లీ మెన్షన్, అండ్ దట్స్ హౌ యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ అ పర్టికులర్ ఆర్టికల్. సో ఇన్ ద మీన్ టైమ్ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ అ క్విక్ గ్లాన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇవి. What are the topics here? Green Hydrogen, World Hydrogen Summit 2025 करें. उसके बाद RODP scheme. Please look at all these things, impacts, exporters. Before the exam, have a good view of this. Next, then what are the whole points that we have to collect? Next, Center Restores RODP program. Next, we have done rainfall, monsoon, effects. All the concepts have been mentioned, especially with respect to Kerala. What are the important facts I have mentioned? And then what are all the different concepts involved with respect to this particular topic we have mentioned? Westerlies, ANTV, what are the impacts of it and all that? And next, summary I have mentioned. And next, low pressure region. Next, popular judges, first judge's case, second judge's case, very important. First judge said consultation was sufficient, second judge said concurrence is very important. And we have given what is the difference between consultation and concurrence. And separation of powers, especially collegium system and all that have been discussed. So all these are very important for your prelims as well as for your mains. And finally, SC Judges 21 transfer in the GSL collegium system. Next, Ujala scheme. Please don't forget Ujala scheme and strategic lightning program and energy and efficiency mida. And then we have done overnutrition concepts we have done. And finally, overruled. And then we have done India's new urban valley. And then defense, India, Germany, 25 years relationship, defense law, economical, education and green development, technology collaborations we have done. And finally, sustainability, people, silver jubilee celebrations, therefore very important. So these are all the topics that we have covered today. So very important topics. Silver jubilee, strategic partnership. So just a quick check. Strategic partnership we have done, overnutrition we have done, energy and efficiency we have done, collegium structures, yes we have done, 21 judges, low pressure region, that's also we have done, and then RODP, and then World Hydrogen Summit. So we have done with all the major topics that are covered in newspaper today. So your work is to just go through the videos, create your own flowcharts, create your own films as well as mains questions, and the only thing that you can basically do is revise. R. The more of revisions you do, Katarnak you'll get. Okay. So Shamank Pandikondala signing off for today. Bye bye.